I want to yell and scream right now, but the problem is if I start yelling and screaming, my wife and kids might think something's going wrong in the basement. But
just yell. Let's go.
College Basketball Weekly, another year. We're here. NCAA tournament bracket breakdown, March Madness. I'm going to Buffalo. I cannot wait. And then we're going to be at the Final Four again in Indianapolis. Behind the scenes, all access, whatever you want to kill it. LT on the loose.
Look out.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Give us a 5-star review. So, pound the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube and what have you. So, what did you think about the selection show? I was nervous for Miami of Ohio. I'm not going to lie.
You?
Well, because it's one of our guests.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they knew they were getting in. I think anybody who knew what's going on, I mean, 95% chance they're getting in. Maybe that's your 5% anxiety.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, I thought it was a great selection, great bracket. You know, I always love hearing Keith Gill's like breakdowns of what happened over the last couple days. You know, why they selected certain teams over other teams, how they kind of put the pieces together. Overall, I think they did a great job.
You did, yeah. I think so too. So the last four in were in no order because they actually asked this question. Everybody thought Miami of Ohio was the last one in, but they actually were not.
They were not.
The last four in were NC State, Texas, Southern Methodist University, aka SMU, and Miami of Ohio. First four out: Oklahoma, Auburn, San Diego State, and Indiana. What'd you think about that?
I thought they picked the right teams. You know, I thought they picked the teams that are playing well right now. As the last 3 or 4 in, right? First 4 out, you know, I don't think any of those teams needed to get rewarded from a bid, whether it's Auburn. I mean, Oklahoma was the one for me where it's like, I think they're playing pretty well right now.
Yes.
That was really the one for me that was like, yeah, could they get in the tournament and do a little damage? Maybe, you know, win one of those first 4 games and then knock off the next round as well. The way they're playing. So that was the one for me. Other than that, it's, I mean, yeah.
How about Seton Hall?
Yeah, Seton Hall had some rough losses, you know. You know, San Diego State for me was another one. You know, I'm a Mountain West guy. And, you know, Mountain West only getting 1 bid this year with Utah State.
That's crazy.
Definitely a down year for the Mountain West, but I thought San Diego State could have squeezed in there, right?
But then who do you take out?
That's the thing. You know, it's I just don't know. I mean, SMU for me was kind of that was the one. If I had to take one team out, put one team in, I'm taking SMU out. I'm putting Oklahoma in.
Wow. Okay. So if you look at the conference breakdown, the SEC only got 10 teams this year, which is
only.
I know, only. 10 in the SEC, 9 in the Big 10, 8 in the ACC, 8 in the Big 12. And then you look at 3 in the Big East, 3 in the West WCC. I love that Santa Clara got in. I love it.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about that region in a second. And then the A10 got 2, which is great. But even more so, the MAC, baby. The MAC. And the brothers got in.
I love that.
Steele. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be such a fun tournament. It's one of those things. And, you know, you're looking at the announcement of the bracket as it's live, and you're like, oh, that's a great matchup. That's a great matchup. Oh, I don't know who to pick there. Oh, that could be an upset, you know, and it's like, that's what that was like for 30 straight minutes, seeing those brackets unfold, you know.
And I was getting nervous, too, because I'm like, we joke with Flynn Clayman about Flynn Clayman's one of our first guests on the show from High Point. They get in. I really like that matchup against Wisconsin. 12 versus 5. I really like that. So let's start here. Let's go to the East. So the number 1 seed in the whole tournament is Duke. Look at Jerry Mack. Hey, he likes those kind of those games. And their Siena Saints are going to Greenville, South Carolina. Ohio State got in.
Mm-hmm.
Happy about that. They're playing really good ball right now.
They are playing really good. So is TCU. You know, Ohio State and TCU. I mean, there's high probability both of them were going to get in. For me, I'm a little disappointed they're playing each other because I do think that if they were playing other people. They could throw an upset in there. That's going to be a tough one to pick.
Yep. Surprise with St. John's, huh?
St. John's a 5 seed. That's I need to dig into more like how that came to fruition.
Yeah.
That's pretty low, especially what they did to UConn a couple days ago. So, they're playing their best ball right now. Zuby is maybe the most dominant player moving in, the most dominant big guy moving into the tournament right now.
Yep.
The way he's played his last 2 or 3 games. Look out for him to make some statements.
Yeah, and then they're playing Northern Iowa, who was a guest. Ben Jacobson was a guest of ours last week on Full Court Press College Basketball Coaches Show. Great defensive team. They're sneaky good. I mean, they've rolled. They're the number 6 seed in the Missouri Valley, went all the way through, won it. That 5-12, that's an interesting matchup, that one. And then Kansas playing California Baptist in San Diego on Friday. What do you think we're going to see from Kansas from this tournament?
I think you're going to see some good ball. For me, the East is the most stacked quadrant. You just have legendary program after legendary program. You've got Duke, St. John's, Kansas, UCLA, UConn, Michigan State, like all in the same quadrant, So, anything can happen. I think that's going to be really hard for Kansas to get out of that because they've shown that, they can beat anybody throughout the year, but stringing 2 or 3 high quality wins together has been really difficult for them in a row.
Yeah.
That a Kansas St. John's second round game. Are you kidding me? I love it. And then the winner probably gets Duke. So I think Duke was well deserving of the number 1 overall seed.
I would agree.
I want to talk about the East, the Buffalo group. Because
you want to know why?
You're going to see some of these. Yeah, you're going to see some of these teams live. LT will be there in Buffalo.
Yes, in the flesh.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over the first one.
Warn the Western New York State Troopers. LT is going to be in the great city of Buffalo.
Look out. Look out.
Yeah, I feel sorry. I feel sorry, and Mike anyway, for what's going to happen. We got Louisville, South Florida. I got Coach Brian Hodgson, my guy. I'm going to wear down Pat Kelsey. He hasn't been on the show yet. That Louisville, South Florida one is the one I'm looking forward to. Michigan State, North Dakota State. We just had Coach David Richmond on the day before on College Basketball Weekly. I'm really, he actually taught me how to pronounce Bison, not Bisons. It's Bison. And then UCLA, UCF is going to be an interesting, that's not in Buffalo, but UCF, I really like. And that UConn Furman, I might go out to say that whoever comes out of this region could win the national championship between Duke and UConn. Then you throw in Kansas and St. John's and even Michigan State.
Yeah, you got 4 or 5 teams on this bracket that could win this tournament. A lot of people are already talking about UCLA. Could be a little upset alert here, as if they can work through the first round against UCF. Donovan Dent's a primetime player. If he's healthy moving into that UConn game, that's going to be a really difficult matchup for the UConn Huskies.
Yep. All right, let's go to the Midwest. So you got, look at that. Buffalo again. Wow. I can't believe I pulled this up. So Michigan will play the winner of UMBC Howard, Georgia, St. Louis. That should be an interesting matchup. St. Louis is playing some really good ball, kind of struggling the last couple weeks to a certain extent, but really deserving. And then Michigan is just Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan, I think, is going to be coming out of this quadrant, really strong quadrant as well. But, I think the way their style matches up against anybody they could be playing here just looks really good. Georgia, St. Louis, that's St. Louis has not played a team as talented as Georgia all season, right? So this is going to be the first time that they're going to face a team like this. Right. Yeah. And I think Georgia's going to win that game just of how ready they are playing in the SEC.
Yep. What about UCLA? What about Furman and UConn? I like that UCLA
Are we going back to the East?
I'm going back to Midwest. My bad. Sorry, okay. I got all flustered.
No,
so I like that Georgia St. Louis. Then you got Texas Tech Akron. That's the one that I think this year Akron could make a move into the second round. Akron just plays such good ball. They're relentless. I mean, they were down the whole game against Toledo in the MAC championship. And they came back and they won it literally almost at the buzzer. But Texas Tech, they've had some injury issues, but they're a really good program. Alabama, Hofstra. I mean, do you see an upset with those two teams or no?
People are talking about Hofstra over Alabama. I don't see that one. I think Alabama is just too good offensively. Again, it's, that's where some of these mid-majors, they just haven't seen a team like that. Right. Although what Speedy Claxton's doing at Hofstra is incredible. I think they can keep it close for, the first half. But I just don't see them outlasting Alabama's offense over a 40-minute game. Yep. Akron, Texas Tech, that's one. Akron's going to be ready for that game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think Texas Tech, they're a really great team. Injury ridden right now, and I think that's what could give Akron the edge. Yep. That's kind of a coin toss for me right now, the way Akron's playing, and having a coach like John Gross who's just so well experienced in these situations. He's going to have his team ready for Texas Tech, but that's a coin flip for me.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go to the other side of the quadrant. We got Tennessee, the winner of Miami, Ohio, SMU. I'm picking Miami, Ohio to beat SMU in Dayton. Going to have a hometown theme. Virginia Wright State could be a one of those sneaky games because Wright State's playing some really good ball. I'm going to call right now Santa Clara over Kentucky, and I'm excited to see Tennessee State with Nolan Smith. But I mean, Iowa State is just Iowa State. They're just consistent. They're just good, and Tennessee's playing some really good ball too.
I know this is a hard one for me. The first time I kind of wrote out this part of the bracket, I have Tennessee getting through. Really? To play Michigan in the Elite Eight. I just think Tennessee, this is their time to shine. What Rick Barnes is doing there is fantastic. It's just consistent, right? Virginia, I think they're playing hot. I don't think they've played the schedule that like a Tennessee has played, right? Yeah. Although I like, I see Tennessee beating Virginia in that second round. That Kentucky I really want to root for Santa Clara in that. I'm gonna pick Kentucky though. I don't see them losing a first round game here this year. And then Iowa State, I think, is going to get through to the Sweet 16.
Okay. Yeah, I like those. Let's go west here before we finish up the South. The West, you got BYU playing the winner of a playing game, Texas and NC State. Gonzaga, I think, is just really good. I feel bad for Kennesaw State because Gonzaga is pretty much playing a home game. Mm-hmm. I really like that Miami, Florida, Missouri game. I think what Coach Lucas is doing in Miami from Coral Gables is phenomenal itself. And then Purdue, Queens. I think Purdue is just too much for that team right there. But I think the one that's going to come out of there, the one that's going to, I think, surprise a lot of people, I think, is BYU for some reason. I just have this weird BYU or Gonzaga is going to be the kind of the ones that are surprising people for me in the West.
Yep.
Is that fair enough?
No, it's fair. I mean, I've circled Purdue here. They've been kind of a question mark middle of the season for me, but the way they went through the Big Ten tournament really impressed me.
Yeah,
I mean, they're playing like a 1 seed right now.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one.
So that's just it. If they can keep it going, that's going to be a team that that could be a 2 seed that makes it to the Final Four.
Yep. Okay, let's go to the other side of it. Arizona, LIU. I mean, Arizona is just rolling. Villanova, Utah State's gonna be a really good game, and I really like that Wisconsin High Point. I mean, we got Coach Clayman on this show. I smell an upstart alert, and I think Arkansas is just going to be too good for Hawaii. But what do you think? I mean, is Arizona that good?
They are. I mean, they've been the most consistent, dominant team all season, right? Them and Duke, right? I think Arizona's been, both of those teams meaning Arizona and Duke, both have 2 losses of the season. Arizona is the most tested team, throughout the entire year with who they played throughout the year, their Big 12 schedule, and then to still come into this tournament with only 2 losses. Hats off to Tommy Lloyd. One of our top candidates for Coach of the Year. Just the level of elite consistency he's had all year. I circled Arkansas on this quadrant as well. Just how well they're playing. We saw it last year with Florida's Clayton. Could Acuff be this year's kind of point guard to look out for the tournament? Possibly, right? I mean, the guy is just electric. And when you see point guards who play the way that Acuff plays, this is their time of year to just put up ridiculous numbers, take over games, basically refuse to lose. And so I circled Arkansas. If Arkansas ends up playing Arizona in that Sweet 16 game, for me, the way both of those teams are playing right now, that could easily be a Final Four game.
Yeah, I would agree. I love what Arkansas is doing. Acuff is just a ball player, and Arkansas just doing what they did in the SEC tournament is remarkable in itself. All right, last region. Let's go to the South, baby. The South. North Carolina, VCU. I'm going to pick VCU on that one. Illinois, Penn. St. Mary's, Texas A&M. That should be a good game. Houston, Idaho. I just don't think anybody's going to be a match for Houston right now. I think they've got some of vengeance, but I really like that 2 years in a row Phil Martelli is dancing, first with Ryan and now with VCU. What does that tell you?
No, I mean he's a coach to look out for, the next 20 years. More, He is going to end up at a top university somewhere. VCU is an incredible program for them to be at. If they didn't win the tournament, the selection committee said they weren't going to make the tournament. So Hats and Dayton was going to be that second A-10 bid. So Hats, I mean, it's like, for me, it's like, okay, you're going into that game and it's a survive or die game, right? And the way he coached them in that A-10 conference finals was very impressive.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. And I mean, VCU, I mean, you look at what his pops did. His dad at St. John's or St. Joe's. I mean, he might never leave VCU. I mean, that's what kind of cool it is. So, but let's go on the other side. So Florida plays the winner of Florida plays the winner of Prairie View A&M. Lehigh, I don't think they're going to have an issue with that. Clemson, Iowa should be an interesting game. Vanderbilt, McNeese. We have Coach Bill Armstrong coming on the show later on. Vanderbilt, I'm kind of surprised Vanderbilt's a 5 seed, and then Nebraska, Troy. Nebraska's never won a game in the NCAA tournament.
I know. This is the year for them.
And we have Coach Cross on the show too.
Nice. Well, I mean, this is the year that Cornhuskers get that tournament win. I'm going to watch that game. I think it's exciting for the whole university at Nebraska. All the players know what's on the line. Obviously, Hoiberg knows what's on the line. But how exciting is that to be a player on Nebraska's team, to have the season that they've had, and then to have the potential moving in this week to the NCAA tournament to bring the university their first tournament win after decades and decades.
Hey, don't count out the Trojans, man. Coach
I'm definitely not counting them out at all. I think it's going to be a good game. But I mean, Nebraska, it's they have so much to play for.
Yeah. How good is Florida?
Deserving of a 1 seed. I'll give them that. I mean, the way they've played their last 16, 17 games, right? I mean, they had a loss in the conference tournament, but that's. I mean, if UConn wins that Big East tournament, UConn's the 1 seed and Florida's a 2 seed, right? That could have changed the whole trajectory of the tournament in my mind, right?
Love it.
But Florida is very good. Obviously, they've been there. They've done that. They are playing to repeat. I think they like the fact not a lot of people are talking about them right now. People are talking about Duke and Arizona and bigger storylines. But if there's one thing when you watch a Todd Golden locker room or a game, they're going to be where they need to be on the court at every time.
Yep.
Every possession, right?
Yep.
So,
well, let's get rolling with the coaches section. We've got a handful of coaches. We're first going to go to High Point, talk to Coach Flynn Clayman. First year as a head coach, was the associate head coach last year. They're dancing. I love what High Points has done. I'm a homer. Obviously, they gave me a T-shirt. They fed me. They took care of me. I'm a big fan. And then we're just going to go through it, and we'll be back after. And hope you enjoy our third annual NCAA tournament bracket show. Sammy, so guest number one on our 2026 NCAA tournament bracket show. You know, like you said, you give me a T-shirt and I'm a homer. I have an honorary degree from High Point. I just got to send him a check for $70,000, but it's in the mail, Coach. But we got High Point Panthers head men's basketball coach Flynn Clayman. You know, we got you, man. You're going dancing 2 years in a row. Ain't a bad thing, huh?
No, it's sure better than not dancing. I can tell you that. I mean, no, but in all seriousness, man, like it had so many seasons that ended. You know, you had a great regular season, and then you don't win that conference tournament, and it's just a miserable experience. And this is just the polar opposite. What a week it's been.
Oh my God. And you got to wonder, like, I always worried, like, you got an automatic bid. Obviously you won the Big South Conference. You pounded Winthrop. You kind of did what they did to you, you know, about a month or so before. Do you ever worry, like, it's a joke, like you're not going to get called even though you have an automatic bid? I'm just waiting for like them to screw something up like that.
I know. That would be historical. No, I wasn't worried about that. I was just seeing who are we getting, you know, seeing if we got the right matchup and all, seeing if we got a 12 or a 13, you know, that was up in the air too. So
yeah, I like the matchup. Sammy, what you think?
I like it. So, Coach, talk a little about that matchup. You know, you guys are heading out to Oregon, you know, playing Wisconsin. You know, they play kind of a grit and grind, slow-paced game, whereas, you know, your style is much more up-tempo, you know, one of the best in the country, fast break points. You know, what are you looking for in this matchup?
Yeah, you know, we'll watch more and more film, but I mean, what I know about them, good shooting team. They are scoring more points this year than they had in past years, you know, so it's not as slow. You know, any of these games, any of the teams that we're potentially seeing are great basketball teams, right? So, you know, it's like we learned last year, you know, we can win Big South games if we defend and rebound. Well, you know, if we focus on our things that we can control, defend, rebound, we're probably going to win. You know, in these games, you're going to have to defend, rebound, and you're going to have to make shots. I mean, it's just that we didn't shoot that well last year when we played Purdue. Then we were hanging around, you know, but you're going to have to be shooting the basketball well, because once you get to this level, it's a make or miss game. But, you know, good matchup, but a great team. We got our work cut out for us.
Yeah. Coach Gard does a great job. He's really underrated in the Big Ten. They don't really, I mean, he just wins every year. I was kind of hopeful for a Purdue High Point matchup, but that would mean you would be the 15th seed, which I think you're a little bit more deserving than that. No offense to Queens and Coach Leonard and his fancy sweaters. I wonder, he should get, like, I don't know how well you know Coach Leonard, but it'd be cool if he has like a what's the coat, matte painter, like a knee pads, like sweater, but I guess it'd be kind of hot to wear that. But how do you like that kind of quadrant? You know, you've got Arkansas, you got Hawaii, two really good teams. Arkansas is hot as hell. Then you got Villanova, Utah State, Arizona, LIU. What do you think about that little quadrant right there?
I mean, I think the most important thing for us is just only focus on Wisconsin, honestly. Like,
good answer,
everybody else, you know, gets to focus on filling out their bracket. We got one goal in mind, that's the Badgers. That's it, you know, and worrying about teams after that's really irrelevant, you know, for the coach, you know, standpoint. That's all we're going to be talking about. And, you know, in this tournament, you don't know who you'd see in that next game, because anybody can beat anybody, especially when you get, you know, down to the 14 and below. Like, anything is possible. Obviously, we've seen 16s and 15s do it, but you got a 13 playing and you're a 12. I mean, who knows who's coming out of that our group of four there, but we're just going to lock in on Wisconsin.
Yeah. So you had the team at the arena tonight, you know, good community showing up as well. You know, what was that vibe like in there?
I mean, it's unreal. It's for the second year we've packed it out in there. Just a whole party. You know, the women's team's out there right now waiting for their name to be called. So my wife's out there as we speak. But it's just we got great support, great fans. You know, if you watched our conference tournament final, you saw that it was basically like a home game for us. That's the second year in a row we've had that. You know, we're gonna have it's a long distance. So getting from High Point to Portland's a little longer than getting from High Point to Providence like we had last year. But we're gonna make it happen, and we're gonna get some students out there, and we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah. And after your name was called, you found out who you were playing and where you guys were going. I'm sure you only got to kind of talk to the team very quickly, you know, but like, what was that message?
Yeah, I mean, my message today for them was just to enjoy the day, you know, soak it all up. This is such a experience that they need to enjoy. I mean, they've worked really hard for this. They've sacrificed a ton for this. They've really wanted this. This was not something that we were hiding or like, you know, just one game at a time. We knew we wanted to get back to the tournament, and that's why guys came here. So just really happy for them. My message to them, though, is tomorrow then the celebration's over, and we're focused on winning the game.
Yeah. So how does the process go? I mean, you're obviously playing this week. When will you fly out? What's like, will you practice tomorrow? How will that work for you guys?
Yeah, so we will, since it's West Coast, we're going to leave tomorrow. Actually, we'll play Thursday.
Driving or flying?
We're driving, you know, we're going to stop in, we'll probably stop in Knoxville and we'll get to OKC and then we'll knock the rest out. They give us our flight. They told us, you know, at latest 1 a.m. today, they'll let us know what time tomorrow our flight is. So based off that, we'll either practice here or practice in Portland. But they'll let us know later what time we're leaving. But we'll be out of here tomorrow.
That's crazy. Isn't that crazy, Sam? You just don't think about that. You think it's like, oh, you go 24 hours before. Now, you didn't answer my question. I texted you earlier this week.
He's been a little busy too, I think.
No, bullshit. I came there. I had the high point. I'm a high point tonight, whatever you call it. So this is really rare. Your wife is an assistant. They won the conference too. We gave them a shout out last week. I think it's fantastic. You and your wife are a power couple. I would probably say she was a better basketball player than you, but just throwing it out there.
For sure.
Like, you never told me who's got childcare. Like, how does that work?
She handles most of it, and we've got some really good helpers from some people who really get us through, you know, day to day, because we wouldn't be able to make it without them. So it's a community effort, but it's insane how she handles it. I mean, she's just a superstar, how she's handled this last 2 seasons, not just this year, but last year too. Just pick the right one. Let's just say that. Yeah.
And she's pregnant with another one. So she's actually taking one of the kids with her, technically.
That's right. That's right. She's taking them. Yeah, well, we're going to see where my son ends up. Is he coming to my game or is he going out there? We'll see. Undecided yet.
I love it. Coach, my last question for you before let go, or maybe LT's got one more, but you know, your team's just kind of peaking at the right moment. You know, you got Terry Anderson, you know, NBA level athlete. You know, it seems like he's going to have a really great matchup against Wisconsin. They've kind of struggled against long athletic forwards this year. But then some of the guys, you know, you got Cameron Fletcher, who's been coming off the bench the last several weeks, you know, 19 rebounds. You know, like, talk a little about these guys, you know, like, who's peaking right now? Who should the country be looking out for?
I mean, you hit Terry on the head. He was second in our league for player of the year. He had a fantastic year. He's a Swiss Army knife guy. Cameron Fletcher, like you mentioned, he's a high major guy. He was a starter at Florida State at one point in time on a very talented team. So he's that next level of talent that, you know, if he shows up and is having a good day, like, he can go toe to toe with any athlete in the country. And he did that in that championship game with 19 rebounds off the bench. You know, I think Rob Martin at the point guard spot's a really exciting, fun guy to watch. He's just so fast with the ball in his hands, and, you know, he's short, so it's like he's a guy that you could cheer for, because, you know, he plays big, he plays physical, he plays tough, but he's still 5'9", you know, at the end of the day. And, you know, fans always like cheering for a guy like that. And then I think Aquino at the center spot, you know, he's shooting about 45% from three this year. He's a great passer, so he's going to be able to take bigs away from the basket, you know. So those are some great pieces right there for guy. And then the guy who's been going the most viral, getting the most attention, is Chase Johnston. who's if he can make 4 threes in this game, which we really would need that would be fantastic. He will pass Steph Curry on the all-time threes made in college basketball. He's top 25 all time. He hasn't made 1 2-point shot all season. So
hey, Sam, you know who that's like? Jack Golke, baby.
Jack Golke.
That's what they've been saying. That's what they've been saying. He's this year. So hopefully we're speaking it into existence. So those are some names to watch out for.
Well, if you had any good luck, you'd play in Buffalo because I was there in the flesh for Oakland, Kentucky. But maybe we can get the full court network jet out to Portland. And close your ears, Coach. I mean, I said this in the intro, Sam. This High Point, Wisconsin game is the one I'm looking for. One of the maybe 4 of my favorite first round games. I think people are going to see what's going on in High Point. I mean, I saw it in the flesh. Sam, you know about it. Coach Clayman, obviously, you're there. I think I'm really excited for it. It's a really good matchup. But, Coach, we really appreciate it, man. Kick some ass, and hopefully we see you at the Final Four, coaching and playing, not hanging out.
That's right. 4 wins away. 4 wins away. We're going to get there. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, we're going to our second coach here. This guy I'm pissed off at because he made me so exhausted from his freaking 9 overtime win in the semifinals of the Southland Conference. I'm pissed at you, Coach.
I'm still recovering from that. I'm getting too old for that.
Sam, I will tell you my favorite conference by far was the Southland.
That tournament was incredible.
Those 2 semifinal games were off the charts.
Both instant classics, man. The Southland's gotten so much better over the last 2 years. I know we jumped from 29 to 18, and Lamar's making a big, making a big splash with their hire and their NIL commitment. Everybody's just committing more and more resources to it. They've seen the exposure we've gotten and what we've been able to do. Our enrollment's up 16%, and I imagine we'll continue to do that. After making a 3rd straight tournament. So it's huge for the communities, for the university. So everybody's committing to it, and hopefully we'll make another jump.
Yep. So if you don't know who this fine gentleman is, this is Coach Bill Armstrong, McNeese. The Cowboys back in it again in the NCAA tournament. The funny thing is they're at 12.
You had to do that just in case they thought it was Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Well, you never know, right? It's all good. I love it.
Get my eyes set, Coach.
That's right.
No, but 28-5, 19-3 in the over, like the very improved Southland Conference. You guys are playing really good ball. What do you like about the matchup? Oklahoma City, so you're kind of staying in that same region for you where you are somewhat. Playing number 5 Vanderbilt, who, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting. I love 12-5 matchups, Sam. Don't you?
Yeah, never know what's going to happen. But, this is a McNeese team that when they're playing the way they can play, they can beat anybody out there. So, Coach, I want to hear from you, though. What are you – I mean, you've only had a couple hours to think about it and prepare, what's
I'm an SEC guy. Grew up in the SEC, Birmingham, Alabama. Went to, SEC tournaments when I was a kid, was a 16-year assistant. So, I've watched a lot of friends in the SEC coaching. So I've watched a lot of Vanderbilt just on television live. Now I got to really dive in, but man, they got really, really good guards and they play extremely hard. They're really athletic, very similar styles to us, the way we play offensively with a lot of freedom, a lot of space. On a positive note for us, they don't overwhelm you with size. So that was what we were hoping for from a matchup standpoint. Sometimes you can get thrown in and play a team like we did 2 years ago. We played Gonzaga and they just overwhelmed us with size, and the second round last year with Purdue. But still, obviously, Vanderbilt's a very, very good team. They're 12th in KenPom, I think 14th in the net. I thought they were a seed line, maybe low, maybe 2 seed lines low. Yeah. But they're a really good team. Obviously beat a Florida team who certainly has a chance to win it really bad yesterday. So we certainly have our work cut out for us, but excited about the opportunity. And we are playing well. We've got the longest win streak with 10 straight wins. And we haven't lost. I think we won 14 out of 15. Our only loss was at Stephen F. Austin, who's obviously a very, very good team as well. Yep. So, we're playing well. We're going to come in and kind of play the way we play, and should be an entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, what kind of style of game are you guys looking for? You mentioned Vandy, their offensive efficiency is top 15 in the country, but then you balance that nicely with, you've got the number one turnover defense in the country.
I think they're top 10 and not. Yeah, I think that's how we play. We gotta make it a fast-paced, ugly game. It's funny I say fast-paced because of the way we press and try to turn you over, but a lot of times teams take a lot of time off the clock trying to break our press, and then we get into our switching man-to-man. So I think our defensive tempo is one of the lowest in the country as far as that goes. But, we've got to be able to turn them over, and they're really good at not doing that. So it'll be a contrast in styles there, and I think our guys will be ready to give everything they got to do that.
So did you text your buddy and say, hey, I feel bad for you not in the actual tournament yet?
Who's that? Oh, yeah. No, I have not talked to him yet, but I did feel bad for him in that sense. I thought they slipped a spot or two, but an opportunity to win an extra game. That's how you got to look at it. I think I'm right about this, but the year he made the Final Four at VCU as an assistant, I'm pretty sure they were in the play, and I know they were in 11, but I thought they were in the playing game. But maybe he can work some of that magic.
Yeah. Was this all the plan year one for you?
I'm sorry?
Was this all the plan year one for you?
Sure, man. You texted me when we were in the Caymans. We talked about just winning every game. That was the plan. We were going to try to win them all. But no, in all seriousness, I thought we had an opportunity to have a really good team when they got here on campus in our first practice. I knew we'd recruited some really good players, and we got great kids, man. They've really gelled together, and they play hard for each other. And it's been a joy to coach this group. Certainly, our goal, the standard that had been set, was to make the NCAA tournament, and we were able to do that Wednesday night.
Can you talk a little bit about the guys, though? What's their mentality right now? What was the message today after you kind of saw the bracket? And specifically, you got a guy like Javon Garcia, leading the team, just, court general out there. What do you need to see from guys like him as well as some of the supporting cast on the team?
Yeah, we're going to lean on Javon and DJ to lead us through this whole process. They're the ones who've been through it, the most experience with it. This is their third time to do it. Won a game last year, so they know what it takes. They know what the preparation is like to be able to win a game. So we're going to lean on them a lot. They have been a huge voice for us all year, but they'll continue that. And for us, man, we were excited to see our name pop up, and whoever we were going to get to play, we were going to be excited about. But I know it sounds cliche in coach speak, but these guys have done a very good job of just, trying to win each and every day. So we're going to go out and try to have a great practice tomorrow and continue that on Tuesday. And just, we're playing with a lot of confidence. That's what we want to instill. And, I just want them to enjoy the moment and bask in it. A lot of these guys haven't been to the NCAA tournament. Several of my staff members, it's their first time. So, we want to take it all in, enjoy it, and then come Thursday, we're going to go out there and play extremely hard. I do know that. I don't know what else will happen, but I know that we'll play hard.
Yeah, and people will just lastly, if you don't know who Larry Johnson is, you're sure going to find out.
That's right. What he's done this year, breaking Joe Dumar's record. We're talking about not some, ambiguous freshman in the 70s that nobody's ever heard of. He broke Joe Dumar's freshman record. He's a Hall of Famer, top 75 player all time in the NBA. To be able to do that, everybody here around Lake Charles, including myself, they asked me about midway through the season, did I think he would do it? And I said, who's second? I think he can get the second. I don't know if he can break Joe Dumar's record, but he certainly did. And he's a special talent when he gets the ball. And I just try to get the ball into his hands as much as possible, and then just make sure that I don't get in the way.
Yep.
What's the vibe in Lake Charles right now? You guys are just kind of basketball royalty the last couple of years.
Right, it's as exciting a time as it's as exciting a time as you could get here, man. It's it's like Mardi Gras. It got extended. We go to the NCAA tournament for the third time in a row, and we're just still partying for Mardi Gras, and we haven't stopped.
Awesome, Coach. We'll keep it going. We'll be waiting for you at the Final Four, baby, in Indianapolis.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward to seeing y'all there. Hopefully, we'll be in uniform.
Yeah, we hope so. We're going to stick on one more second. We're going to keep going with our big NCAA tournament bracket show. right, so we continue. We've got 2 down, 1 more to go. We're in the middle of the heart of it. And this coach we had on last year, and I figured, why not win another conference title just to be on the show again? We got VCU, not Bryant Bulldogs, VCU Rams. They're Lock It In. I love those T-shirts. We got to get a full court network Lock It In.
There you go.
But, Phil Martelli Jr., welcome back. I guess for year 2 in a row, man. You're like a seasoned pro now. You're almost like your dad.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. This is definitely one of my favorite annual traditions that we've now started. I guess once you do it twice, right? You do it back to back, it's an annual tradition. So
yeah.
Talking to you, cutting down the nets, Selection Sunday. I don't know what's 1, 2, and 3, but
birth of a child.
I like, well, just saying annual tradition. I'm not doing that annually. We're done on that. We got 16, almost 14 and 8. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good on that. No more.
I know.
Yeah, those 3 annual traditions I can get on board with.
Yeah. I mean, pretty remarkable. I mean, I watched your journey. I mean, you guys have been on frickin' fire. I think you're 16-1 in your last 17 games. You lost 2 in a row, and then you guys went on a run. And I watched the tournament selection show, which I really like how they did the brackets in the beginning. Not like, it's not drawn on like a soap opera. You have to wait till the end to see what happens, but you already know what's going to happen.
Well, when you were announced in the 4th and final bracket, it felt like it drug on. Like that was like last year at Bryant, I think we were in the first one. So it was like you're there, and within 5 minutes, you're like, okay, we're playing Michigan State in Cleveland. I didn't even know what happened with the rest of the bracket.
Yeah.
But yesterday we were one of the last. I'm sitting there going like, all right, come on.
But I mean, is it
kind of you're in? At least you know you're in.
Yeah. Well, and we were joking earlier on the show with Flynn Clayman. It's like, they got the Big South automatic bid. And I said, wouldn't it be kind of like hysterical or funny? I'm waiting for the NCAA tournament to do this and say like, oh yeah, we totally forgot so-and-so. And it's like, the whole, after this, we've got Travis Steele from Miami, Ohio, and there was some nerves there. But I heard something which I thought was a little bit interesting, and I'm not trying to get a sound, but know us well and what have you. But if you didn't win your conference tournament, they weren't going to give you a bid, which I'm kind of a little bit disappointed about for hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, I again, like, committee's got a hard job. I'm
absolutely
not envious of that and all that. I mean, if that had been the case, and it wasn't, so it's probably not even worth talking about. But if that had been the case, it would have. Honestly, would have made somewhat of a mockery of the whole thing, right? Like, win your games, play a tough schedule, win your games. We did that, right? And watch, like, I would gladly play 7, 8, 9 quad 1 non-conference games. We can't get them. So.
But even with the tradition at VCU, the budgetary being in Richmond, you're kind of close to a lot of, it's easy to kind of get in and out of per se. You're still having a problem. Like, everybody's heard about Miami of Ohio the last 2 weeks. Dude, I've been hearing it for 3 years. I've heard it from you. I've heard it from your dad. I've heard it from everybody. Every coach has said it. Not complaining, but just it's the toughest part of the job.
Yeah, it is. And again, like it's stacked certain ways, right? So the formulas have been laid out to all of us. So we know what it is, right? So for us, it's, hey, can we try to get quality road neutral games? We're fortunate that at VCU, you have a platform where, hey, they want you in the Bahamas, so you can get South Florida, you can get Virginia Tech, get Vanderbilt, right? We're in Maui next year with a great field.
Yeah, so me and you, baby, we're going.
Let's go. Come on.
Yep, we're going.
So you have those opportunities. We were very fortunate that Will Wade was willing to play, because of his history and his love for VCU. Like, I am really grateful for that, because that really helped. So we're willing to play these really good games. Utah State on a neutral. Like, so when we try to get these other games, I mean, the ACC, lost their 2 conference games, right? They took out 2 conference games, went from 20 to 18. We called all of them. And couldn't get a yes. And I don't blame them. I just think they've been told, like, we don't want to give life to these mid-majors that could have life.
Yeah,
right?
and this is not a new phenomenon, and that's what people don't understand. This has been happening for 3, 4, 5 years. Okay,
longer. Yeah, I think even longer. It's been a long-standing.
Yeah, I've literally talked to a Power 4, Power 5, sorry, not Power 4, Power 5, because the Big East I consider a conference, even though they only got 3 bids, unfortunately this year. But here nor there, I talked to a head coach, and he said, "Why would I play him?"
Mm-hmm.
And not you guys, but another team that's actually in the tournament and has a history, a family history. And he's like, "I can't."
Yeah.
I can't. And that's the problem. So, there's obviously things, and this is some of the stuff we're going to talk off season about is, maybe conferences and teams need to be more aggressive in scheduling with a Utah State like you guys, trying to get, maybe like you play in Akron. Akron is a really good program 3 years in a row, getting some of those games, maybe a Virginia Tech will play you, but doesn't sound like, but at least you're in Maui and there's good teams in Maui. So
yeah, that's what helped us this year. You take advantage of going to the Bahamas, right? You beat South Florida, who obviously, was really, really, really good. Lost to a what I thought was a great Vanderbilt team, when we played them, and then beat Virginia Tech, right? So you get an ACC win and a borderline quad 1 game. But yeah, like if that's not going to be credited, then what are we doing? What are we doing, right? Like now, fortunately for me, I'm only used to one bid, have to go win your conference tournament.
Yeah.
So it doesn't faze me, but I would love to know from somebody there, like, well, what you talked about, we call it WAB or WAB. I think I've heard it both different ways, right? Like the wins above bubble.
Yeah.
So on that list, we're well ahead a couple of the 10 seeds. Like almost not even close. So did that matter? Did that not matter? Right? Did the metrics matter? Did they not matter? And we've seen it for years, right? Like it's you don't really know because the narrative usually comes out to protect whatever decision was made.
Yeah, but isn't that everything now with
this team in their last 10 games was really good. And then the next year it was like, well, that team went 9-1 in their last 10. Why didn't they get out? Well, their non-conference schedule was blah, 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 blah. They didn't. And you're like, well, you move the goalpost and then you decide, hey, this is what's important. But regardless, we did what we had to do.
You're in.
Try to keep winning.
You're one.
Bubble. We didn't talk about any of that stuff. We just kept it locked into. We go by numbers. So in the non-conference, it's, hey, we need to get number 1. We're just trying to get win number 1. And then once we get that, we talk about win number 2, win number 3, 4, 5, and just go. And then when we start the conference schedule, we wipe that slate clean. And we need to go get number 1 in the conference, right? And we did that. And then we just kept going all the way through. And it's funny because I don't know if people think I'm lying or crazy or what, but we get to a certain point, like in conference play, like I'm so locked into like, all right, we need to win number 8. We're just trying to get number 8. That I don't even know what our conference or our overall record is. I don't even know, they would talk, we won, might've been 10 in a row, I think at some point. Like, I didn't even, like, they would ask me about, the win streak. I'm like, I don't even, that really doesn't register because we're just locked into that. So this weekend, it was, we need to get number 1 on Friday. Once we got number 1, it was, hey, we need to get number 2. Once we got number 2, it was, we need to get number 3. And wasn't even talking about get to the semifinals, get to the championship, win the championship. It was, get number 1, get number 2, get number 3. So we didn't even talk about any bubble stuff. We never, not one time did that come up.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. There was kind of some brouhaha on social media about, we need to get rid of these conference tournaments. But if you look at how the conference tournament fell for you, it really couldn't have fell any better. It was just kind of serendipitous how it fell, and you guys took advantage of it, which is good. And other schools did too. I mean, look at Northern Iowa, 6 seed.
Yeah.
They won it. And that's what makes this is what makes, like, I feel like this is Thanksgiving and now I'm going to Christmas. Like, it's just, I love the conference tournaments, and you guys are just like, was this the goal year 1 to get back, like to win the A10, to obviously have a winning record, but to go back dancing again? I mean, you did it last year, first time at Bryant for yourself. Did you just want more of that kind of that taste, that more of that juice?
Yeah. I mean, once you get it, it's, you always want it, right? Like you just always want to go to the NCAA tournament. You always want that name called on Selection Sunday. You always want to go cut down the nets. And what we talk about and have always talked about with our programs and did with these guys the first time we met is I don't want to get on here, or run into somebody and have them say like, oh, you guys had a good year, right? Like you'll probably have guys on and say, oh, that was a good year, right? That went, 19-11 or, lost in their semifinals. And yeah, it's a good year, right? And people mean very well by that.
Yeah.
But it stings. Like, we're not chasing good, we're chasing great. And I tell them that all the time. Like, we're just chasing great. Whatever that looks, and great's different for everybody, right?
Yep.
Great can be different for everybody. That's not to say, well, it's only great if you win the championship and go to the NCAA tournament and win a game. No, like, great is different for everybody. But that's what we're chasing. And it's what attracted me, so much to VCU, is that's what VCU stands for, greatness, right? You think about VCU, you think about greatness. And watch, we live in the basketball world, so we think about it in the basketball sense. But if you come to Richmond, it's in every sense of the word. Like our president, Dr. Rao, I told him, I said, like, I am blown away. Like, everywhere I go in that city, you drive through the city and you just see VCU on everything, the hospital, the buildings, the this, the that, the parking garages. Like, it's just VCU. Like, it's and there's a greatness to that we can pursue that greatness and at a place that's pursuing that greatness as well. Yeah. And I'll go back to your conference tournament thing, because I didn't know that was like a hot topic was canceled.
You just go anywhere in social media. Everything is a hot topic according to everybody. Jeez.
Yeah, that's true. But what I would say about that is what's really hard with that, like in a league like ours, the unbalanced schedules.
Yeah.
Right. So with the unbalanced schedules, you're going to name a champion and go, well, in the ACC, my best friend's at Notre Dame, and we were talking about somebody. Oh, there was a chance they could tie with like Wake Forest, right? They could tie with Wake Forest and get into the ACC tournament, but they never played Wake Forest.
Yeah.
So in that conference, there's teams you're not even playing.
Not even one game. Not even one game.
Not even playing.
Yeah.
So like for us, we play 5 teams twice. Well, we played the 5. Our 5 was tougher than anybody else's 5 by far. We had St. Louis twice, who finished first.
George Mason
twice, who was the 3rd best team. We finished George Mason. We played George Mason twice, who was really the 4th best team. By the metrics and stuff, it was the 4th best team. Fordham, who Mike did a hell of a job there.
Much improved.
They finished in the top half, and then Richmond, who's our rival, right? And you're always going to get a tough game for them.
Yep.
So our schedule was way tougher. Like, there were teams that I looked at this weekend as we were preparing, and I'm like, all right, they got 8 wins against the bottom 4 teams. They got 7 wins against the bottom 4 teams. Like, we didn't get that. We played all those teams once, right? And like that. So if you're not going to have a conference tournament, you can't really base it on the regular season, when a lot of times the regular season doesn't tell the whole truth.
Right.
I think it did for us in St. Louis. I think we were clearly the 2 best teams. And finished 1 and 2, but it doesn't always tell the whole truth in these conferences now, where you have so many teams and you just have, the lack of balance in the schedule. Now, if you're playing true round robin, back in my days in the MAC, the AA MAC.
Yep, AA MAC.
Where we were playing everybody twice, like, you pretty much knew, like, okay, yeah, that team. Our Niagara team, we were the best team. All right, those Siena teams, they were the best team. We were the 2nd best team, whatever it was. You knew it then, through the round robin.
Yep. I really, really, really like this matchup for you. Your team's really balanced. I mean, you actually score a couple more buckets than they do against North Carolina. You have 7 players averaging 22 plus minutes a game and over 7 points a game. So I like that you have a lot of weapons. Huge fan of Terrence Hill Jr., absolute ball player. What do you think about this matchup? I mean,
honestly, I don't know a ton yet. I'm still my games have downloaded. I have to, we've been trying to work on this logistics stuff and get everything situated. and when we're done here, that's my next project is to dive into, what the Tar Heels are all about. And so I don't know much, honestly. I've seen them on TV, but I always say it's different. When I put a game on, I'm not scouting. Like, I'm just watching that game. Now, I may have a coach's eye to it and be like, oh, you know what? Like, I like that action they just ran. But I'm not like watching, like, okay, they're, and locking it in of like, all right, they guard ball screens this way. Or they, obviously they play up tempo. They do what North Carolina always does. They have super talented guys. They'll we know that they're going to be a formidable challenge, right? Like, and at this time of year, I texted with somebody late last night, early this morning, something about, man, like, they didn't do you any favors or whatever. I'm like, yeah, no matchup is giving you any favors, right? Like, if you're playing this time of year, you're not getting a favor in the matchup. Like, oh, all right, like, great, we got to play this team or that team. Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, they did us no favors, but you know what? Like, we're in it, right? And we have a chance, and certainly, being in Greenville is good for us because our fans can drive and get there. But obviously, they're in a bordering state, and they'll have, quite a bit of Carolina blue in there.
Yeah, you should have like the Martelli party bus.
We're on our path to. We're within the 400-mile limit of NCAA charter flight. Whatever the rules are. So we're gonna be. It sounds like we're gonna be getting on a bus and headed down there.
Yeah. Last question I got for you, Coach. What can people expect from your team that if maybe have never watched A10 or VCU basketball? Like, what can they expect 6:50 p.m. Thursday night against, one of the Blue Bloods? We'll call it a Blue Bloods. Like, what can fans expect from you guys?
Well, we're going to compete. Like the two big words in our practice facility are develop and compete. That's what we're really all about. And, the development piece is huge for us, bringing guys along, getting guys better. Whether they're with us for 4 years, 1 year, in this day and age, doesn't matter. Like, we commit to them, to their development, all the way through, right? Like, all the way through. And then compete. Like, we compete every day. One of the guys joked last night about, like, man, all those days in the summer we were playing one-on-one. There was only 4 or 5 guys in the gym waiting for everybody to get there. And, those workouts all ended with them playing one-on-one, somehow. And I told them, I said, yeah. I said, I told you from day one we were going to develop and compete. Did we develop you? And they're like, yeah. Did we compete? And they're like, hell yeah. I'm like, yeah. So we're going to do that. And then that carries to game time. But we play a pretty unselfish style. We play, I try to give them enough freedom, with some parameters of like, look, the ball's got to move. We have to move. We can't stand around. But we try to teach them how to play rather than teach them like, okay, come down and run thumb up. Okay, come run tap head. Hey, come run tap shoulder. Hey, come run, play 4 or whatever it is. Like, we try to give them that. As I always say, I want to get hoopers and I want to let them hoop, but I don't want them to be robots. But at the same time, there has to be some structure to it. And these guys have done a really good job, buying into that and, playing for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Coach, you're going to stick on one more second. I really appreciate it. We're going to be cheering for the Rams. Actually, I don't know if you saw this. Got the Ram right here.
Wow, Rodney.
Yeah, there we go. We got Rodney. Wow. Rodney. Yeah, we got a whole, and then we got the Colorado State Ram too. Wow. We're excited, man. This is the greatest time of year. This is like Christmas for adults. And you don't have a credit card bill a month later. You just might have a gambling debt, but we won't go there.
I won't have that. I hope no one else has that, but I understand that that's very much a part of this. But.
Yeah, but Coach, we really appreciate best of luck.
You're locked in because I didn't get any questions of like, if you were if you were a lollipop, what flavor would you be? So that's You're locked into March.
Well, it's the NCAA tournament. You got places to be and things to do. We'll let the tomfoolery for 49 weeks of the year, and we really appreciate it. So go Rams. All right, we keep going. We're almost done, guys. This has been a great. We love the NCAA tournament bracket show. We got a winner. They're all winners, actually, when you think about it. Repeat NCAA tournament coach. We got Coach Scott Cross from the Troy Trojans. Coach, doing it again. Obviously, you like dancing.
Yeah, no, it's last year. We had a gorilla on my back because the last time I'd been was 2008, and so 17 years had passed, and we had won a couple of championships during that time, but we could never get back to the dance. And so it was a great relief last year, I think is the best way to describe it. This year has been even more enjoyable because you want to get there, you expect to get there, but you know how hard it is to get there. In our league, there's 14 teams. We're all pretty much the same. I know what it's like to have one of the best teams and not get in. And so to be able to do it again, definitely a blessing. I'm thankful I got a great staff, a great group of connected guys, and just very, very fortunate. Some things went our way, but, that's the way it goes, and it's nice to finally catch some breaks. I've also been on the other side of it where a guy breaks his wrist in the quarterfinal game that's your second or third leading scorer, so thankful that some breaks went our way.
Yeah. And you also play in the longest freaking conference tournament, 7 rounds. Fortunately, you were at the back end of it, not the front end.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big proponent of it back 3 years ago when we voted on it, because to me it makes sense. Like, if you really want to elevate the Sun Belt, then you have to get your best team in there. We did have the best net. I mean, there were teams that were probably just as good as us, but and from a coach's perspective, winning 3 games, your chances of winning 3 games is a lot lower than winning 2 games. No matter how you slice it and dice it, whoever you play, it's just the way it is in the Sun Belt Conference. Credit to Georgia Southern. They won, I believe, 5 games in a row. They scared the crap out of us, and thankfully we got it done. But I think it is set up the right way. It makes every game matter in the regular season.
Absolutely.
Protects your top team. So
and it rewards them, right? I mean, it validates what they did and what have you. So 22-11, 12-6. I started kind of really following you guys. You beat San Diego State, then you almost took down USC. Okay. How big is making a tournament, knowing, unfortunately the Sun Belt is a 1-bid league, as are a lot of, conferences. I don't want to say mid-major because I don't want to demean anything. It is what it is, though, right? How big is this for a school like Troy to be in the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row?
Yeah, it's huge. My previous school has been one time. It was Division I, 49 years. I got let go after 72 and 33. And so I'd been there, 15 some years. So, I mean, it's probably been Division I, 65 years, and went one time. This school, I believe they had went 2 times, Noah, before, or 3 times.
2 times before you.
Yeah, 2 times before me, and then the last 2 years. And I think they went Division I, maybe 2000, somewhere around there. Yeah, late 90s maybe. So it's tough to do. And, like I said, I mean, I know I don't take it for granted. I know our guys don't take it for granted. It happened, and it happened back to back. I hope nobody ever just assumes that it's going to happen, because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think every coach we've ever interviewed the last 3 years of this show and network, I think everybody's appreciative of getting there. Doesn't matter how they got there, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a big thing. So interesting matchup. I really like the matchup you're playing. You're playing Nebraska, and I feel like you're going to try to make sure they never have won an NCAA tournament, because they have yet to win an NCAA tournament game. So what is the expectations? I mean, everybody knows you're kind of the same age as me, who Fred Hoiberg is, in the sense of what he did at Iowa State and in the pros. What are you guys kind of seeing from Nebraska in that first round matchup?
Oh, they're really good. I mean, who do you want to match up against? I mean, I think they, from an athletic size, I mean, for us, probably teams that are overwhelming size and athleticism would probably hurt us. But, they're like a top 8 defense in the country. And then watching them offensively, the way the ball pops around. I mean, my oldest son, who's on our team, like, I can remember him back in December. Oh, Nebraska's the best team in the country. Nebraska, he was watching and following every game, and they're good. I mean, they can really shoot the basketball. They run great stuff. I mean, it's pretty amazing how they execute. Not going to be easy, but they're not overwhelming with their size or athleticism. Yeah. If we can find a way to maybe get them out of rhythm, and if the Red Mambas and Thomas Dowd are hitting shots, then, we'll have a chance.
Yeah. I think I saw somewhere on Twitter earlier today that Fred Hoiberg's going to use his last year of eligibility for this game. You ain't taking that one, are you?
No.
We ask some off the wall shit, obviously, and say some things that probably don't make sense. So what can people expect from you? I mean, we just talked about Nebraska. I mean, they're a well-balanced, well-coached technical team, but you guys aren't too shabby yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're similar in a lot of ways. I'm not as good of a coach as Coach Hoiberg, but
come on now. Come on.
Our guys are connected like their guys. I mean, I would say both teams, you can tell they really like each other. They're connected. We pride ourselves in our defense, even though we're not super athletic. I mean, very similar to them, except, they're a top 8 defense. We're a 140 or something like that defense. So
hey, you're top 8 in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we were top 3 maybe in both offense and defense in the Sun Belt. So we were very balanced offensively and defensively. We have stretches where we've been amazing defensively. I mean, if you look at us in the championship and the semifinal, I mean, that was as good as I've seen us. Akron was a defensive game where we were just
that was awesome,
locked in because they can score the ball as good as anybody in the country. We did a great job there. So we've had bright spots. We've also, our worst defensive games have been against teams where we've been heavy favorites. Those have been the games where our guys kind of go through the motions. Obviously, I think I saw on Kim Palm, maybe we were a 16-point underdog in this game. So I know our guys are going to be locked in. They're going to be in a stance. They're going to be flying around. I would definitely think you're going to get the best version of us defensively. And then offensively, last year we didn't play very good offensively. We weren't connected. We didn't hit shots. I would think this year we are going to be more connected. I expect us to hit more shots. But again, Nebraska doesn't make it easy, so we're going to have to play well. But yeah, we're excited for the opportunity, and we're going to prepare our guys to win. And I think our guys will go out there with confidence, but you got to go out there and get it done.
Yeah. Are you doing anything? I know it's been not even 24 hours since you got the news. Anything you're doing differently this year than last year, just with having that experience from going last year and playing at Kentucky, who's, they're everything. They're tall, they're fast, they're everything.
In terms of like throughout the year, are we doing anything different?
Yeah, it's just like maybe your kind of mindset, your coach's mindset might be a little bit differently this year than just because they have the experience so fresh of playing last year in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did talk to our guys last week right after film. I was like, look, we got so many guys back from last year. I felt like last year mentally we weren't in the right space, like going into that game. I think, probably – well, I know for a fact, like agents were in our guy, and they're in our guys' DMs right now. There's no doubt. But like our guys, you could tell were bothered by that. And so they weren't focused on just getting a great shot. They were thinking about that, probably thinking about money. I mean, I'd heard crazy things like schools that were in our regional, I won't say any names, like offering our guys X amount of dollars. Like that's a lot for a guy to, process and take in. And how do you go out there and just play in the flow and let the game come to you? It's tough. And so, I told them this time, like, guys, let's block out everything. Let's not worry about anything other than getting a great shot. Just work together to get a great shot. And then let's work together defensively to make them take a tough shot. And if we do that over and over again, we'll be in a good position. But we played hard last year against Kentucky. I mean, I thought we played good defense, did a solid job on the boards considering their size and athleticism. We just struggled offensively. One, they were good defensively and they're long and athletic, but we didn't have that connection. And I think, you start worrying about how many points or how many shots I've missed. And don't worry about it. Just worry about getting a good shot. It's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. 3 quick things. First thing, keep their phones. All right, take their phones away.
I did used to do that, actually.
Take their phones away. Number 2, the school that did this, what does it rhyme with?
That did what? That took their phones?
No, that were trying to poach your players during the tournament. I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking. You like that one, right? That's a Seinfeld quote. And lastly, did you ever text your commissioner, who we've had on the show previously, hey, can we play so-and-so? Did you kind of like, since he's the tournament chair, or no. Are you happy? Are you going to send him some flowers or maybe like a gift
I'm
basket?
not happy. I think we ended up, no matter who you play, it's going to be a heck of a game. But like they did probably the 2 teams that I looked at it, like the overall where I would view it, I think we did come out on top of them. Hawaii, and I think it was North Dakota State. Maybe one of those teams was right there with us, and we did get the bump to the 13 seed. I had us either the last 13 or the top 14, and so I guess he did go to bat, and I think probably the San Diego State helped us, the Akron win helped us. We had USC. I think we were 3-1 maybe in quad 1 and 2 games, and if we hadn't to drop some of those we had a couple quad 4 losses, a bunch of quad 3 losses, but our wins, like what we did in 1 and 2, was really, really impressive in my opinion. Our one loss was the USC, which if you look at the game, we probably should have won that game.
Yep. But it is what it is, and you guys are dancing, and it doesn't matter who you play. There's going to be no easy opponent. So
no, not at this level. No.
The way you look at it. So, Coach, you're going to stick on 1 second. Best of luck. Check out the Troy Trojans as they play Thursday, 12:40 p.m. in OKC against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Thanks, Coach. Best of luck to you, man.
Thank you.
You got to have this team in. He's been on the show 1,000 times. I actually picked him over his brother. Don't tell your brother that. Be pissed at me. But no, this is exciting. Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks, NCAA tournament bound. I got Travis Steele, my guy, on. Congratulations, first and foremost. Nice thing is you probably don't have to go too far.
Hey, 50 minutes up the road to UD Arena. You couldn't get me closer, man, for an NCAA tournament game. So we're excited to be in it, man. I'm so happy for our guys to be able to experience the NCAA tournament. It's, as we all do. I grew up obviously as you did too. I'm sure just when you were little, filled out a bracket every year.
I was never little, Coach.
You were well when you were young, all right?
Younger.
Yes. It's everything you kind of work towards and work, and to be able to have our guys, have this experience, man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Really looking forward. Now we got to take advantage of this opportunity.
Oh, it's funny because they were saying that you guys, someone said you were the last one in. You weren't in the tournament. That was, I don't know who said that on the selection show, but I told you off air, I got a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. I felt good. I felt good because we've had Keith Gill and Tom Wishishill on the show, who was a former Akron AD. So you'd think you'd be a little bit partial, if you can, to the MAC. And then I got then your name come out, and then I heard Dayton, Ohio, and I heard SMU. I'm like, this is actually like almost getting like a 1 seed for you guys. I mean, it works it really does work in your favor because, Coach, I've talked to 4 other coaches on this show. You're the last, save the best for last, I guess. I told that to everybody, but it's funny. They're all talking about like Flynn, Clayman at High Point. They were going to get their whole travel scheduled for NCAA by 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, this works out for you.
Yeah. We're extremely blessed. We're going to drive up 50 minutes to Dayton. And I'm sure a lot of our fans are going to as well. I mean, listen, we got a huge alumni base in Dayton.
Oh,
huge alumni base, obviously, in Cincinnati.
Yep.
I mean, our students are still on campus here, which is insane. We haven't even had spring breaks next week. So like it will be in a lot of ways a home game for us.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun, man. Listen, we can't wait for Wednesday night, man.
Yeah. Are you kind of like, do you feel like in the back end, the NCAA is like, well, let's capitalize on this, put them closer, give them a home game, sell more tickets? Or, I mean, and I'm not trying to get a quote, me, but it actually works like, and the NCAA does a great job running tournaments. They do a lot of, for all the negativity they get, and maybe some deserve, maybe some not, they do a really good job running tournaments. And I'm excited. I mean, I even like the North Carolina State Texas matchup. I mean, it's just,
listen, it's the best tournament in the world.
Yep.
I mean, again, this is what it's all about. So I mean, we're fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, now we get the chances, but we're not satisfied because I think it's been a long time since we've been in the NCAA tournament. But I don't want to. And our guys are hungry. I think they're confident. We want to advance.
Yeah.
We want to advance. And obviously SMU is a very formidable opponent. AJ Infield does a great job. They're talented. And, man, Boopy Miller's
Boopy Miller's a ball player.
Oh, man.
You know what you should do is try to corner him and see if he'll come to Miami, Ohio next year with some NIL money that everybody else is doing. I mean, shit, stories I've heard in the last 24 hours.
It's not a bad idea.
I'll send you $50, Coach.
I'll tell Andy Enfield, you told me it was okay for me to do that.
Well, I mean, hey, you got SEC assistants buying season. I mean, that's a great way to sell season tickets. Just invite every Big Ten assistant to come to Miami, Ohio games.
Isn't that wild?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it's legal.
I guess I didn't know it was illegal. Like, that's amazing. I mean, our business it's a crazy landscape right now. That's
sure. I know your AD probably likes it because ticket sales will go up.
Yeah, he would love that. Keep on getting these tickets going, man.
More importantly, what's going on with the blue T-shirt? Did you burn it? Did you actually wash it?
So I'm debating. This is a big decision. All right. So my daughter will end up making this decision for me. All right. She runs my house. She's 3 years old. And
we know you've been a bad boy. Hopefully you've been a good boy.
I've been a great boy here lately.
Yeah, good.
I'm on her good side.
Good.
Just got to stay on their good side now. But she'll pick the shirt. So I have my blue shirts packed. I also have a red shirt.
Ooh.
I'm going to throw it out there to her. I was going to say, hey, listen, this one hasn't been worn. Should we give it a shot? We lost the game, so now maybe do we give something else a shot here? So be interested to see what she picks out. Yeah.
Are you kind of relieved you guys lost when you did? I mean, I know you don't like losing, but do you think it took kind of a little bit of pressure off the team and the players? Because, I mean, listen, 20 years ago, we didn't have social media like we have now. I mean, and I know that's kind of a weird maybe statement, but obviously I make a lot of weird statements and questions. But, I mean, you're not relieved to lose, but do you think the atmosphere has been has the atmosphere around the locker room and stuff just been a little bit looser maybe because of it, or not really? I mean, I feel like you guys were loose as it is, but just with it happening.
Well, you never want to lose. Right?
No, absolutely not.
And you want to learn from wins and losses. That's what the great teams can do. They learn from wins. And we were devastated.
Mm-hmm.
That locker room was full of emotion right afterwards. I did not really address our guys a ton after.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was that shock factor. It just shows you how fragile things are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between winning and losing is just so minuscule. So I kind of addressed our team more and when we got back to the hotel, because I wanted to kind of process some things a little bit first for me as well. I didn't want to say anything out of turn or out of pocket.
Right.
And I told our guys, listen, hey, I don't want anybody to have a sad face, be down, any of that. We got zero time for that because we're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Awesome.
And I said, fellas, if we handle the next couple of days the right way, then we're going to give ourselves a chance to advance. But if we don't, if we're sad, down in the dumps, and start thinking about what's next after the season, then I can guarantee you we're not going to have a shot to advance. Right. And I thought our guys, man, it was funny. Once I said that, we ate there in the hotel, in the ballroom, and it was almost like, okay, coach is not okay with losing, but you gotta freaking move on. Right.
Why is Coach walking back to campus from Cleveland?
Yeah. I'm on the side of the interstate I-71. It's But I wanted them to know, listen, I love them. I'll roll with our group, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah,
it's not conditional. My love that I have for our guys. Not, we win, I love you, and if we lose, I hate you. Or I'm going to be a 3-year-old and have a temper tantrum. I told our guys, we got to own the performance, we got to learn from it, but let's move on.
Yeah,
let's flush it.
Yeah,
we will be better because of it if we learn. And and I'm hoping that's the case here, obviously, in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, what I loved about it, the one thing that came out positive is just all the support you were getting around the nation. Shit, even like what Frank was saying in the press conference after. I mean, hearing fellow colleagues understand, because here's the thing: winning and losing, it's a fine line. It's like inches. It's one bounce. It's a this and that. And I think what people don't understand, I've had this conversation with others, is like UMass, they're the 8th seed, but UMass on paper is one of the top teams in the league. They just did not have a great year. And but I saw them play them tough against your brother. They obviously they're not the greatest shooting team, but man, they will hang around like stink and they will wear you down. And Frank is one of the best of the best.
He's a great coach.
But I love how it kind of brought like the coaching community, people that get it, maybe in mid-majors, like a thing. And it would have been pretty comical. It wouldn't have been funny in the standpoint if you didn't get in, but it would have been pretty comical just how bad it would have gotten for some people, including myself. I had a pitchfork ready, Coach.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I did not have that ready. I honestly, God, I don't know what I thought we were in 100%.
I felt good about it, but there's always that 1%.
I know. Like, listen, people asked me and said, "Well, hey, what did you do between the Thursday in Cleveland and Sunday?" So I said, "Man, I went to my son's soccer games.
Awesome.
I was a dad, and I slept well, but I watched film. How can we get better from UMass? Right? That was my whole thing. Is how can we learn control the
rebounding?
Rebounding is exactly right. And then we had a great practice on Sunday leading up to the selection show. Very spirited practice. So." You learn in life as you go on. I said this afterwards. Somebody asked, "What are you going to do?" And I said, listen, when you've been fired before, you learn to focus on the things you can control.
Yep.
And you don't care what people think. And you're not trying to impress anybody. You're not trying to.
Yep.
I live life on my terms, and I'm going to continue to do that. Life's too short, not to. Right.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. But so lastly, what for people that don't know Miami of Ohio basketball, okay? I know your team. I've got no notes. This is one of the only times I don't need notes. I watch it in the flesh. I've been to multiple games. You got my guy from Brecksville, you got Peter Suter, who I want you to know two things. First of all, before I ask this question, the United States Basketball Writers Association, okay? I got to pick the players, and I put Peter Suter up for All-American. Okay,
I love it.
1 of 15, and Sam did, who's not here obviously, so that tells you how much he loves you. 1 of 3 coaches for National Player Coach of the Year, and he put you. So, I love the story. I think, I don't know if in my lifetime ever again am I going to see the run you guys went on, but I guess this leads my last question. What can people expect from you? Because they're probably thinking, "Oh, Miami, Ohio, they're all pretty and good looking," which they pretty much are.
Other than me.
We already discussed that, especially in speed up. But like, what can people expect? SMU, that's going to be a really fun game. I'm really looking forward to that one. But what can people expect? Like, I guess, what's your identity for people that just are filling out a bracket and be like, "Oh, Miami, Ohio, that looks pretty cool"?
Yeah, I think we're very, very connected on both ends of the floor.
You love that word.
Yeah, I do. I think I would say we share the ball. The go-to guy for us is the open guy.
Yep.
We're very balanced. We can shoot at all 5 positions. We can make decisions at all 5 positions. So we're fun to watch offensively, I think, because of our pace and just our flow and our ball movement and player movement. We're one of the best, most efficient teams in the country on the offensive end. And then on the defensive end, we're really connected down there too. We move as one unit. We try to be disruptive with our ball screens and defense and post defense. And I think we're connected. I think our guys are confident. They're tough. They play the right way. They play for each other. I think in today's landscape, that's harder to get than ever. With all the NIL and coming and going of players and all that, I think it's more difficult to get that. And our guys play for each other, which I think is really, really loud and clear when you watch us play.
Yeah, and you're seeing teams like yourself, your brothers, other teams, High Points. The list can go on. McNeese. You're seeing guys come back, and you're seeing culture continue.
Yes.
And I think we don't talk about that enough. We try to, but it's always about, NIL, how's this, but we're not talking about the grass is greener. And I think you guys are case. You know what's even better? The MAC got 2 bids, baby. I'm in MAC country. I think it's awesome. I love that some teams didn't get in, and Bruce Pearl says hello. So You know, it's I think it's great. I think what you guys are doing are great. I can tell you, you've made a whole bunch of Miami, Ohio Redhawks fans, or in my case, Redskins fans.
There we go.
You know, but Coach, we really appreciate it, man. Keep it rocking. You're going to stay on for one more second. Last, Coach, we're going to finish it up, wrap it up with Sam and mine's final 4 picks. And Coach, just awesome, man. I can't wait to see you in a Speedo.
That'd be an ugly look.
A lot of good stuff, a lot of funny kind of narratives and what have you. All right, give me your final 4 and who's going to win it. And I want you to know something. I'm going to tell you it after you tell me. Give me your 4.
You want me to know something, but you're not going to tell me what you want me to know?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I don't want to, because I want to get the upper hand on this one for once.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to keep it simple. You know, coming out of the East, I'm going Duke. You know, I think that they are tournament ready. Coming out of the South, I got Houston. I think their defense is going to just shut down everybody that they play in the South. I think I really like their path to the Elite 8, right? As that 2 seed down there. And I think they're going to be really well rested moving into the Elite 8 to win that game. Coming out of the West, I've got Arizona. Again, it's a big question mark for me because I think Arkansas can go head to head with them. Really. But I've got Arizona coming out of the West. Like I said earlier on the show, they've been the most tested team all year. And coming into the tournament with only 2 wins with the schedule they played, the Big 12 conference. I love what Tommy Lloyd is doing, and I think they're going to make the Final 4. And then coming out of the Midwest, I'm sticking with my guns with Michigan. I had Michigan in the Final 4 before the season started. What Yaxel is doing on the court, you know, you haven't. Dusty May has such a good culture with this team this year, right? Like they seem laser focused on what the goal is, and I see them making their way through the Final 4 as well. And then in my finals, I've got Houston against Arizona. I've got Arizona winning the tournament.
Okay. So, little known fact. A team that I watch in the first or second round makes it to the Final 4. Michigan, me and Michigan and Buffalo. They're going to the Final 4. I've kind of been like Arizona. All right, they're kind of overrated. They're obviously not. And then I'm going to go with Duke, UConn. I don't know. Duke or UConn. One of those two. Okay. I'm never good with that.
You can't pick one.
Houston. It's going to be UConn and Arizona in the finals. Arizona's winning it.
All right, I like it.
Yep. So that's it, man. That's it. That's all we got. We're going to be. I'll do some stuff when I'm in Buffalo. We'll do some stuff at the Final 4. We've got Coach David Richmond the day on that came out Monday from North Dakota State. He's obviously dancing, and I'll see him in Buffalo. He's going to run for me, as will every. But don't forget to subscribe, subscribe, rate, review on the Full Court Network on Twitter, Instagram. We're going to have a ton of stuff. And then if you're watching here on our YouTube channel, pound the subscribe button. We'll be back next week on a College Basketball Weekly powered by the Full Court Network.